Hi everyone, welcome back. So I just decided to make this series to inspire people who want to learn the mythological rather, Lenormand. I received this last week, and prior to receiving it, I really didn't know anything about the system or anything like that. All the translations that I could find on Amazon were in French. But I did manage to find a website of this guy who, in his spare time, a few years back, translated one of the French books. The author on that book was Didier. I'm not saying that right, but anyways, he translated that book in English on his spare time, all 52 cards. And I'm so thankful. It's like the only English translation out there. Now, I also have this book. This is from the 1970 deck, and it is actually all in English. The translations are pretty good, and I compared them to the website where the guy translated into English, and they jive pretty well. The website is more thorough, so I'm going to include the link to that website in the description box below, and you can print it off, or you can, what I did was I wrote out the entire thing, all 52 cards. Of course, there's 54 cards, but the extra 2 cards are the significator, male and female significator cards, so those don't really need an interpretation. So yeah, I wrote out all 52 cards. It took me a long time. Well, I did it on my spare time, and I enjoyed doing it. And I find that by writing, it helps me to retain it a little bit more. And I'm going to obviously refer to it quite a bit. So you can, but I mean, the faster way would be to print it off and just put it in a notebook, of course, but I chose the difficult way. Now, another method that I'm using to learn the cards is, and I haven't finished this yet, but I photocopied one of the cards and I reduced it to 72%, which is the exact same size as a playing card deck. And I'm just trying to find the card. I'll find it in a minute. I'm just going to show you. So I photocopied it because actually these cards are just too big. And I mean, I have small hands. These are the same size as the Druid Craft Tarot, basically, if you're familiar with that. Just too big. So you can see the comparison between the playing card and just ridiculous. And I don't want to destroy the integrity of this deck. It is from 1970. It's in really, really good shape. And, you know, I don't want to use it too much. It smells a little musty. I'm hoping to get that smell off just by airing it out. But I plan on putting it back in the box and, you know, putting it in a Ziploc bag and keeping it as a collector's item. And I'll just use the photocopies. So what I did is I photocopied one. I'm just actually waiting for some new color cartridges for my printer. Otherwise, I would have done more. This is the 5 of diamonds, and I think oh no, that's not it. Shoot, I should have had this ready. So basically I took the meanings from this book and the meanings from this book, and I incorporated it into like a summary onto this card. And I want to show you the bigger card because it actually, you know, stands out better. So just give me a sec, actually. I'm just going to pause. Okay, voila. Here we have it. I'm trying to incorporate my little bit of French that I know. So this card, now, it's all about Greek mythology, right? All these scenes are Greek mythology. And you don't actually have to know Greek mythology to learn this system. This system, these cards will actually help you learn Greek mythology. So as long as you have the interpretations of the cards, you don't need to learn Greek, or you don't need to know Greek mythology. So I found out that this card is about Phaeton. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that right, but it's P-H-A-E-T-O-N, Phaeton, this guy. And he's driving the sun chariot. Okay, that much I know. He sees this flying scorpion. Just gonna grab my thing. He sees this flying scorpion and he freaks out and drops the reins and he loses control. So that's what this card is about. It's about carelessness. The astrological symbol here is about lack of clarity, lack of lucidity. Okay, so that's basically what I wrote. Error and carelessness. And then the message is to act quickly, obviously. Now here is the policeman. And he stands for, it could be issues with justice, bad behavior, needing to be corrected for bad behavior, you know, just trouble with the law, basically. Now keep in mind, this was all created in the Victorian era, so that's why they look so, I guess, Victorian. And then here we have two ladies, and they're actually, you can't really tell, but they're quarreling, okay? They're yelling at each other. And the message of this is to think before you speak. It could also represent a loss of job, because this could be work related. So, you know, slanderous behavior, think before you speak, otherwise you could lose your job. And then this flower combination here, it reprimands, I can't speak English, never mind French. It means compromise, okay? So all in all these cards, all these symbols, all these pictures represent a basic message of, you know, be careful, you're acting carelessly, you know, this is what could happen, sort of thing. It's like a warning, okay? So what I'm going to do is do that for the rest of the cards. Some of them are pretty self-explanatory. I won't need to actually write on the card. Like this one here is pretty self-explanatory. I mean, this is the Trojan horse going into the walls of Troy. And it means deception and, you know, to be on guard. But I will have to write keyword meanings for this guy. I can't remember it off the top of my head. And also for this and that. But honestly, I'm not going to be paying too much attention to this when I start learning. I gathered so far that you are to, in the beginning, to pay attention to the main image and the smaller images and ignore this, ignore this, ignore this. Just to get, you know, your foot in the door, you need to know these three symbols. And the playing card insert is just to identify the card. It does have keyword meanings attached to it, which you can use if you wish. But I'm going to just focus on these three. And so I'm going to do the photocopy thing for all of the cards. Of course, a playing card deck, if you include the jokers, has 54 cards. And this deck is 54 cards because it has obviously all 52 of the cards, and then it has the male and female significator. I don't know where the guy is. He's somewhere around here. Somewhere. I won't look through it right now. So, and then when I'm done that, I will learn the spreads. But what I will tell you so far is you always choose an odd number. You always choose an odd number of cards. So 3 is good, 5 is good, 7. Never even, because you want to, in case the significators, the male or the female significator doesn't land in the spread, you want to look at the middle card. The middle card will have significance. And this book, it was written in 1969 and it was translated, I think, someone in France translated it into English. And you can see there's a lot of mistakes. But it does have quite a bit about spreads and different ways to read the cards. I personally don't know if I'm going to use any of these methods. I'm finding better methods online, to be honest. So I might disregard this. But even in this book, it talks about using odd numbers instead of even numbers when you're pulling the cards. And it's really confusing because it gives you an example here. And it talks about the right side from the significator and the left side from the significator, but it's talking about from the consultant's point of view. So when it says right, it really means these cards on the left. So yeah, it's totally confusing. But little by little and slowly, I'll figure this out. Now, there is a course available by someone in Germany, an English course, and I want to take it, but it's out of my price range. Otherwise, I totally would. It's totally worth it. I just have another course that has priority over that one, so I don't think I'll be taking it. So that's why I'm going to learn on my own and see where that gets me. And maybe in the future, I'll be able to take that course. So if you guys have any questions, I'll try to answer them. And this is my journey. So I just hopefully will continue this video series when I have time of my evolvement, or hopefully, I'm hoping here. And you guys can hopefully learn with me and be inspired. And I will see you guys in the next video. Thanks so much for watching.